Marvin, you got any closing thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, I enjoyed sitting in, everything going on. Yeah, like Jamie said, I hope people can learn a little bit about what's going on in the industry and the experience, and whoever's trying to get into the industry has a bit of more understanding of what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep talking about VFX. It's part of what we do. I mean, this will be an ongoing segment, but now we get to have more fun with it. We get to talk about films that we like that were visual effects breakthrough. We can talk about people who are thinking about getting into the industry, those who ignored all our warning signs and actually want into this field. We can give them tips, resources they can look at, schools that they should be applying to, specific areas. I know I just talked to someone recently, I think, who wants to jump in and give their insight. I'll message you about them because I know he thought we were going to go into specific job positions and what each job entails.
Hmm.
You really want to get into it, just knowing, okay, if I want to focus on this, what should I be learning from an art perspective, what movies they should be looking at, what resources they should be diving into. So yeah, we could provide that kind of information.
One other thing that I did, I posted an answer on Quora a while ago that I think might be helpful because I'd love to get your guys' insight too. But it basically broke down what to include on your demo reel, depending on what position you're applying for. So the one that I specifically was referring to was compositing, obviously, but I think the concepts that I brought up in there do apply to any VFX artists that are trying to work on a demo reel. For anybody that's listening that's thinking about getting into the VFX industry or has any questions about what to put on your demo reel or what a demo reel is for that matter. Your demo reel is generally going to be about 30 seconds to 2 minutes of your best work. It's just going to highlight that you are capable of doing the work that the studio you're trying to apply to that they want you to do. So that is a key ingredient in whether or not you get hired. If you don't already know people that work at that studio that are able to vouch for you, able to vouch for your work ethic, your personality, as well as the quality of your work, and the only way that you have to prove that you're good enough to get in there is your demo reel primarily. So, your demo reel, when you want to apply for a job, you need to have this ready to go because if you don't have a demo reel ready, you might as well not apply unless you have an impressive resume already and or have connections in that studio that you're trying to apply to. So yeah, having a demo reel, particularly when you're first trying to get into the industry, is crucial. And that's actually why I'm sure we can get into a little bit more of our individual backstories and how we got into the industry and whatnot. But when I first wanted to get into the industry, I was going to George Mason University. And I talked to the dean of the school. I also talked to the dean of the art and visual technology department. And they said, yeah, we'll get you set up so that you can work on these major films. And I was like, awesome. So I started going to that school, the understanding that that's where they could get me. They could get me into the film industry. They could teach me what I needed to know. Due to medical issues, I wasn't able to finish my 4 year degree after about 5 years. And one of the guys that I had started going to school with was in the grad program. And I was like, wait, why is he going to the grad school program instead of trying to get a job in the industry first? I asked him. And he said, well, apparently there's this thing you need. It's called a demo reel. Never really told me about that. So right now I'm kind of trying to work on some examples of work that I can do and really work on my demo reel so I can start applying to jobs. It's like, wait, hold up. You paid how much money for a 4 year degree and they didn't even tell you what you needed to know to be able to apply for a job? There's a big difference between not fully setting you up for a job and not even telling you how to apply for one, something that's specific to that industry that you have to know to be able to do step one of getting into it. That's what they should have been talking to you about from day one. Everything should have been working toward that. And instead, they didn't even mention it after you graduated. Like it wasn't until you started applying to places that you're like, oh, I need this thing that I never knew I needed because my school never taught me I needed it. And their whole purpose is to get you prepared for a job. That's the point of going to college. So that was the same week that I dropped out of that school and started from scratch at a different school where I got a 4 year degree in less than 2 years. And day one, they said, you need to start thinking about your demo reel and what concentration you want to get into. What was it? The last 3 months were just working on my demo reel. Not a single class outside of working on my demo reel and experts in the industry in each individual concentration, reviewing my demo reel, making sure it was top notch. That's the kind of school you need to go to if you want to get into the VFX industry, or you need to find contacts in the VFX industry if you're going to try to teach yourself, which is definitely a viable option, that can professionally review your work and get it to the quality level that it needs to be able to start applying.
The main reason why you should even go to a school, because I know some of us are lazy. We need people to be honest. We need assignments. We need homework. we need
You need structure.
Yeah, you need structure. And also, one of my teachers, he would do like Fight Club. So for our zebra sculpting class, every week is who's the best. You got an extra A if you got voted to be the best in class for that week. So that was like an incentive for us to compete against each other. But that was fun. So it was fun being in there because we would always be pushing each other to compete and do better. The main thing is also the connections and internships, right? Those are the things that you're going to get those opportunities to meet people who are good, become friends with them, become cool with them. And then, everywhere I went, it's because someone I knew I worked with or went to school with referred me because they're like, yo, Michael busts his ass. So I want him with me. I'm cool with him. So we're going to get along. For the most part, like 70% of my gigs have been referrals. But you also get those internship opportunities, which I wish I would have took advantage of. But, you get headstrong. Like, oh, I'm just going to just put my head down, just continue to get better at what I do, try to make a really cool demo reel. But it helps you even better if you're already interning before you get out. You can already get your name out the door. And now you have people who could hire you, who could refer you, instead of just your fellow classmates who you hope they get in somewhere and then they bring you along after the fact. If they want to get into it, even though allegedly 5 years from now, this won't exist. No matter what,
Right.
There's always people who think Y2K is going to happen again. There's always people with that mindset. The earth spins. No matter what happens, things keep moving.
It's like, did Y2K happen? No. The dot-com burst happened, but Y2K did not.
So we're going to just wrap things up. Thanks for everyone for listening and tuning in, and be sure to catch us for the next one, and we'll see what we talk about next.